So it was coming to that company. So I haven't told it in public yet.
And you guys write it down to make it future.
Let's face it, you don't want to sound silly, right?
Credit to this
Welcome everyone. Today we're catching up with two powerful alumni from IIM Indore who've excelled in distinctly demanding fields. We have Aditi Singh, a rank 1 graduate with experience at the pinnacle of consulting and global finance at BCG. We also have Riya Nair, who has driven success at top firms like GSK and Amazon before launching her own entrepreneurial venture. A huge welcome to you both. Let's dive in. So these are for both of you guys. Looking back at the 5 years in Indore that you spent there, what's one experience from the IPM program that is surprisingly significant in that and in professional life?
IPM is a very special program because over here in IIM Indore it's a residential campus and that's its biggest USP compared to any other undergraduate program, that you are here with your peers, you learn not just from your professors but you also learn from your batchmates, and that to put together has kind of shaped my success in the corporate field.
Similar. Obviously, you spend so much time here, it's difficult to point to one particular thing. But if there's one thing that I learned which I know would be useful in any field, in any career, not just for me but for everyone, would be communication. You learn a lot of communication here, you learn all different types of communication here, and you learn to be just open, precise and polite when you're talking to people, even when you're disagreeing with them.
The IPM program aims to create well-rounded leaders. So how did this broad-based education influence your very first career choices after graduation?
Firstly, my experience here in IPM, I never thought that I would have started out with a pharma company. I was a commerce graduate. I had no background in biology, BTech, pharma, whatsoever. But when I summer interned at a pharma company, I realized I don't need to know these fundamentals to the core. I had studied basics of it during my IPM curriculum, and that gave me a good understanding of the technicals also involved in the pharma industry, and I knew the managerial aspect of it. So it was the combination of the two, right? And that's where the beauty of IPM lies, that it gives you basics of a lot of technical subjects, at the same time teaches you the business and management aspect also, and you bring a combined holistic vision.
So how would you describe the IIM Indore network, and has it played a role in your career journey so far?
Apart from the fact that IIM Indore in itself is a label and a brand and I own a degree, my second biggest asset is my network of friends, because after 7 years in the industry, all of them are placed in mid to senior positions across multiple different MNCs. And if I at all want to transition from my current role to a different company, or say I'm looking for a role in Flipkart, Myntra, or any other big organization, I can just give them a call, right? And be like, do you have a vacancy in your team? Can you please pitch my resume to the HR? At the same time, I also get to know about the company's culture. Like, I can make a very well informed decision.
For me, I would talk more internally. So in my firm, I know that there are 5 or 6 people who have also joined in my cohort and they are in similar roles as I am. It makes it so easy for me if I have any question about what's happening in their team, or I just want to ask them anything, ask them for some help. There are some questions you probably can't go and ask a senior because, let's face it, you don't want to sound silly, right? So it helps because your IIM Indore network is there, right? It's your own peers from your batch, you have your seniors who are also working there. It's always easy to go approach them and they will give you the right, candid and real guidance. So yeah, I think that's how it has helped me within my own firm, and I'm sure that when the time comes to switch and move careers, it's going to be even more.
The career path is diverse. So from FMCG sales and GSK to leadership hiring to entrepreneurship, right? With this variety and deliberate strategy, what prompted you to take the leap from these corporate roles to starting your own business?
In my family, I had seen both sides of the life. My father has only ever done business and my mom has only ever done service. And I have seen that two very different kinds of lives. Okay? And after having done corporate, it was my dad wish that definitely you should give a hand at business as well. Because pure monetary terms, say in corporate also I was giving 9-10 hours of my day every day, working very hard, continuously, and it's an ongoing process. It never gets easier. the higher you grow in hierarchy, the more you will work. And at the end of the year, if I've done exceptionally well, I will get promoted, which means a 30-35% rate. If not that, I get a good 5-star rating, which means a 25% rate. If I had done just about it, I'll probably get a 10%. But my monetary growth is kind of capped. At 35%, it can't grow by 50% or 100%, right? In business, it's not like that. Business, I put in the same number of hours. The potential to earn an X amount of money or to even double my income exists and is very much possible. So, from a very financial angle also, it made sense to me that early on in my career I can take that risk, and if I build something worthwhile, probably my monetary growth is far higher, and I'll also build and leave behind something which is
So, drawing from experience as a leadership hiring consultant at Michael Page, what did you learn about the top companies that look for a candidate, and how has that helped you in building your own deal?
So there were a couple of crucial factors which played a role. Like overall, we judged the person's overall profile from the start right from your undergraduate, and see how consistent you have been in your performance. Normally, peaks and troughs are not appreciated; it shows inconsistency. So as long as you are showing some sort of consistent growth, it helps. Making too many switches early on in your career is not a very good sign. If you take up a job and you leave it in say few months, then you take up another one, you don't think you're passionate about it, again leave it in a few months. Your third job, then it reflects slightly poorly.
So now for the special segment, we want to go beyond the resume and we want to hear stories that define your campus life. So both of you guys, what's the story from the IBM days that you're finally allowed to tell?
This is a story of, it's not only funny, but I don't know, it somehow screams destiny or what, I don't know, and it has landed me where I am today. So, a little ahead of Europe also, in my 4th year, during our summer placements, one of these companies had come for their placements, and we had not, we didn't know that round was going to take place on that particular day. So, my friend and I, we were out shopping, we were in the, I think, TI mall, and we were shopping for something. And at 7:30 we get to know that 8 o'clock ko is company ka quiz hone wala hai online. And you have to mandatorily give it. Now, there's no way that we can come back to campus in 30 minutes. And we don't have our laptops or anything with us, right? Somehow, we search around the entire mall, go shop to shop and ask people to please hame kuch laptop de do, give us something where we can give this test. Because it had to be a proper test. So, your, audio, video, wo sab bhi record ho raha hai. So we went around, somebody was kind enough to give their laptop. We sat in the storeroom of a particular store. There were rats there, but somehow we just sat there and we gave that test. Of course, that didn't follow through because before that company went ahead with other processes, I had gotten my summer internship and that was done. So I thought that chapter is closed there. Next year, when I am during my student exchange, I'm in France, so I was in Nice and I was having the time of my life with my friends. And one night we decided we will go partying and we'll do all of this. Unfortunately, because of the timing difference between India and France, a particular placement round for the final placements that was supposed to happen at around 8 o'clock, I think India time in the morning, was translated to around 4 o'clock in the morning there. Which we did not realize. So unfortunately, we ended up partying a little more than we should have. And I don't know how, but miraculously, I did wake up on time. I gave the exam and then I went back to sleep, and the next entire day I was hungover. And I passed that. Okay, koi baat nahi, kar liya. The next round was supposed to be some form of a presentation that was happening in the company. When did they decide to do it? I have a flight from France to Finland. Okay, from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. When is the presentation? 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. So, and that I get to know 1 day in advance. Bookings for the flight I have done 1 month in advance. So, I don't know what to do again. So, I keep thinking, should I cancel my trip to Finland? Should I just stay back? Is this more important? Is that more important? I do all sorts of calculation. I'm like, okay, it's not worth staying, cancelling my trip altogether. I've already paid a lot of money for that. Let me buy Wi-Fi on the plane. I paid 20 euros for that. And I thought, अब चल गया तो चल गया, नहीं तो okay, no problem. So I bought Wi-Fi on the plane, and my laptop somehow it was not working, so I couldn't play the Zoom thing on the laptop. I had to hold my phone like this the entire time, and I'm sitting in the plane and attending that workshop. And I'm the only one who's doing that, and everybody else is in the class here, and it's like a hybrid mode of presentation, and I've like presented there on the screen, and I'm like holding my phone like this and listening to the presentation, and people are messaging me, yeah, are you on a flight right now? What's happening? We don't understand. Okay, fine, 2 rounds mein khatam ho gaya. Then there was an interview. Similar things happened again, and somehow that also went well. And I thought, I don't know why this is happening with only this company, har baar. But it was just a funny story, and I just kept going on. Today I am placed in that company, and I somehow got through. So this is a story of, I don't know how every round took place at a timing which was supposedly not very favorable for me, but things just worked out fine. And yeah, it's, I think a story that I haven't told in public yet, but I can probably write that. Okay.
What's a non-academic jugaad or life hack that you perfected at IIM that is still current?
See, it's that IPM gives you a lot of stories, right? Now there are obviously stories that we're not able to say on record, but the biggest jugaad to be comfortable while talking to somebody is just bring up one of these stories. They are going to be so invested. And even if it's a stranger and you're talking to them just for 5 minutes, but you've told them this really funny, crazy story, you become comfortable with them, and somehow you have just expanded your network in 5 minutes because IPM has given you these kinds of things.
If you could go back in time and give your 18-year-old self one piece of non-academic advice, what would that be?
When I had just come out of school and I realized that in a small pool in my own school, I was probably one of the toppers. And then suddenly you come to a place where everyone is a topper. So in my school, I've gotten used to kind of getting accolades, being good at things. Suddenly you come here and you realize that okay, now you're pitted against an entirely new pool of competition. It won't be that easy to come out as being good at something. And many times that fear of failure kind of held me back from trying out new stuff, from participating in activities, from even asking questions in class because I thought I would sound stupid. But now that I go back and say, I'm just 18, you're just 18. This is your age to learn, this is your age to ask stupid questions. It is better than asking no question. So that's one small piece of advice that I'll give.
Now let's just move to a quick rapid fire round and then for short, snappy answers. So this is the first one that comes to your mind. Your go-to productivity hack.
Breaking down the problem, really. First is to calm myself down. Don't let the problem overwhelm me. And then just start writing it down. I have a habit of writing everything in pen and paper. And that helps me solve any problem.
Okay, a campus club or community that you guys still fondly remember?
For me, it's both iHelp and StepCom that I was very deeply involved in.
So what's one skill that you thought was vital in college but turned out not to be?
I thought, knowing all the frameworks, knowing, every, how would I say? The structures that they teach in class, the 4 P's of marketing and the principles of management, and I'm knowing them to the T is going to help me succeed.
Toughest challenge, the first year at IBM or the first year of your career?
Okay, I would say career. Yeah.
Same. First of my career.
Yeah. The best place to hang out on the campus?
For me, it was jam. And you guys shut it down and made a khichdi nation. Literally made a khichdi out of it.
You should go try it, it's not bad.
No, it was jam.
Okay, a book or podcast that has significantly influenced your professional career?
One book which I found very interesting and I tell you too, it's called Freakonomics. Right? And it had sparked my interest in marketing quite a bit. Also, it's a book written by a scholar who was a PhD in behavioral economics. And every chapter is like a new experiment that he conducted.
Describe your current work in exactly 3 words.
Credit risk analysis.
Everything from the owner to the janitor.
Okay, so now to close, if you could distill your entire journey since graduation into a single piece of advice to the current academic students, what would you advise you?
Yeah, I think go with the flow. I feel people are too hung up on trying to find their purpose very early on, trying to find their decipher what career I want and how I want to go about it. You realize life will happen to you. You just need to kind of go with the flow, take it a little easy, live more in the present than in the future, and that's it. You can't plan 5 years down the line really exactly what is going to happen to you. All you have right now is really your present. Try to live that in the best manner possible.
Okay, so this has been very insightful, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.